Guys, welcome to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney. I have no idea why I put my hands up every time. We got Josh Schultz. Man, they manage 10 businesses in 10 different states. They do $30 million a year. This guy is a human ops. I think he's a cyborg. We don't even know. But he's a great guy, becoming a quick friend. He always teaches me something new. When we jump in, we talk about life, cash flow, all sorts of different things. So jump on in the episode and enjoy this 3-part series. We'll see you in there.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Welcome back to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney back in the house. So we got my man Josh here, part 2. We're talking about some cash flow. We're going to be talking about some different stuff. What are we talking about today, Josh?
Cash flow, revenue, income. Everybody likes talking about the money, but the money means some different things to everybody.
Well, that's the problem, sir, is that nobody actually knows what the hell it means.
Yeah.
So why don't you break down, you're kind of, you don't have to go into deep detail, but just so everybody gets an understanding of the different vehicles.
This has been a big thing for us over the last year, giving our plant managers financial literacy. And we've created a very simple framework for this. I gave kind of a test of it, a test intro of it to the Tensi group, and I think it really took. I got a lot of good feedback. But basically, your job as anybody in the company is to help us make cash flow, free cash flow. We want to see that number positive. We want to see it growing. And that's it. All the rest of it is around that. So if you boil all ops down, it's to create cash flow. And you talk to business owners and you're like, I want to make an impact in the community and I want to have freedom and I want to, that's all great. You can't do it without cash. So I say cash flow is the bottleneck between operations and aspirations. It's in the middle. Aspiration, yeah, that's why you're doing it. I get it, but you need the cash flow. I can't help your aspiration. I can't help your community involvement or your change in the world. What I can do is help you make more cash so that you can go do whatever it is that's on your mind. And we've talked personally, right? Like I was texting you. Obviously, I have my own aspirations that I'm doing this for, and I'm trying to figure that out. But no matter what, it's cash flow that's going to make that happen. And so, that being said, if I'm looking at cash flow, I want my PMs looking at cash flow. PMs or plant managers, general managers, any kind of manager loves looking at revenue. It's easy. It's on the top. You just tally up your sales orders and you're done. You don't need all that work to get to net income. Some of them are smart enough and they look at net income, but there's a lot of accruals. They don't understand, hey, when something is booked on the material side, we might have bought that 2 months ago and you're just booking it now because of the matching principle. And so we're really trying to get them to understand cash flow. And here's our simple framework for that. I'm going to boil this really down. This is a version of what's called the DuPont model. I didn't make this up. I learned it. I modified it. We use it extensively. It is, you have 3 missions as a plant manager that help you make cash. So you want to know what levers to pull? Let me bucket them for you. 1, you need to make revenue from your assets. I'm giving you a plant. I'm giving you people. I'm giving you equipment. Those are basically your short, medium, and long-term levers. You want short-term plays, add and take away labor, and just make sure that you're getting more revenue per new resource. You want medium-term plays, invest in equipment. That's the medium term. You want long-term way to expand revenue or contract it, buy and sell real estate, add or get rid of square footage. So you've got time frame, you've got resources. There's your 3 key ones. And again, to port this over in construction, it might be vans, right? It might be vans, people, like there's different levers, but those are our 3. Figure that out, you get revenue, and you got different ways to play with that. I have a whole framework of like 17 levers you can pull to get more revenue from the same resources. That's number 1. Number 2, once you have that revenue, you turn it into profit. This is basically spend wisely. Make sure every dollar is contributing to something that's delivering value for the customer. This is the classic Tom Murphy stuff where you don't overspend on headquarters and pool tables and all that stuff because it's not helping the customer get the product. It's helping you feel a status symbol. If you want to go that route, that's fine, but you're not maximizing cash flow. Just realize that. The next step is to turn those profits into cash. And you got 3 basic levers here. You got AP, AR, and inventory. Plant managers can control, in our case, inventory, keep it as low as possible. You extend your AP and you pull in your AR. You can get creative with terms to figure all that out. And so you've got 3 buckets, and that'll basically take what they have physically in their plant and it'll turn it into cash. And so that's what we help them work through. Is your job as a plant manager is to pull these levers every day. More revenue from assets, more profits from revenue, and more cash from profits. And here's the things you're looking for. So anything that reduces inventory, anything that reduces cost for the same level of revenue, and anything that helps you get more revenue out of the current assets you have is going to maximize cash. And that turns cash into a tangible thing for them. Asking somebody without a high degree, even me, I struggle with it, a high degree of financial literacy to create cash flow. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm in the plant. How do I create cash flow? Now they've got a physical levers they can pull and go do that. And so that's been, I'm rambling here, but that has been a major focus for us, is to turn cash flow into a tangible, actionable thing that they can daily look for, almost in a checklist manner.
Well, it's an interesting, the great game of business that book talks about, letting your staff understand. I found, right, what you just said, you educated me even more, like getting them to understand the way in which a company makes money, right? And then facilitate that into their own personal life, or explaining why we do something. And this is what we're talking about here, is that just because the dollars are coming in on the revenue jobs doesn't mean we're making money. Like,
Yep.
have you ever peeked under the hood of a construction company? Like, it's pretty scary. They could miss 1 month and it could all go out of business. And
Wipe it
so,
out.
and so I think that, you have to have a tangible knowledge and understanding, but more importantly, it starts with getting the terms right, putting it in terms that you stated, and giving them tangible things they can hold on to. Look, if you're a plant manager, let's just use for instance, if your plant manager doesn't see an avenue for growth for him, or he's not a person that wants to grow, and you're trying to load this onto his plate, he's going to tell you, I'm good, man. I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. So do you find that you have to get those right people in those seats also to kind of want to expand their knowledge, or do you feel like you're forcing some of it on them, or you've got the right people in the right seats?
No, we've had to make some switches. So here's the whole playbook for that. One, we got a culture index that we use that we're pretty dialed in. We know if you're not a higher A, not high, super high A, but if you're not high A, you're not driven enough to want to win for this whole thing to even work. There's a couple other tweaks that we have on that. And for those that don't know, in culture index, A is your competitiveness, your desire to win, your drive tends to also be data-driven individuals. Like, if that's not you, none of this is going to work, because you're just not tuned that way. That's fine. There's other areas you're going to crush it. It just isn't going to be in the macro plant manager level. So getting the right person there. 2, we also like somebody that's either military or we love what we call mid-corporate. You've had enough years to get frustrated by how they do things, but you've learned like what it is to be accountable, to have deadlines, to, the same thing college teaches you. College isn't so much about the knowledge. It's about working with teams, having deadlines, managing your schedule. You can tell somebody that went to college versus somebody that didn't, just because there's just some soft, intangible things. And again, people that don't go to college crush it, but they crush it because they don't have the guidelines, which is really good for an entrepreneur, but not so good, again, for a manager. A manager is this middle ground area. So, and then third, you need somebody that's going to grab a hold of this. And so what we do is we try to show them this, and we do tie it to the output of that to them. So we say, here's the cash flow. You're literally going to get paid a piece of this. Here's how you do it. You working on machines is not helping you get revenue from your resources. You're going to do better paying somebody to do that, et cetera. And we have all these levers. One of the levers we have is called thinking in ratios. And we show them how, that sales to asset level can be changed by either sales going up faster than assets, sales going down slower than assets. Like, we have this whole thing about how to think about that. And then, we line it up. And to your point, training is a huge part, not just for the PMs, but we tell them, if you don't grab a hold of this as a system that works and push it down to your team, like, you should be doing what we call micro trainings to your team members. You should be doing quick, again, a PM can handle 30 minutes to 60 minutes at a time. An operator level at the plant can handle 5 to 10 minutes. That's fine. We're going to show you one little thing. We're going to put up the P&L. We're going to show you that here's revenue. And every time a part gets returned, it's going to lower that profitability number by that same amount. So if you get 30,000 parts returned, then you're going to have 30,000 less, which means everybody's bonus is going to be 30K less from the pool. So like this directly affects everybody here. So we use them tied into the profitability. We show them the profitability, and we try to do micro training, grab a hold of that, and teach everybody. And just like we do with the PMs, we have an employee version of the profit and loss. It is the same numbers, just grouped in bigger groups, and we have levers next to them. Hey, if you want to reduce returns, like work on internal quality, we say do it right the first time. Don't produce a bad part that we ship. If you want to lower this amount that we spend on repairs, do preventative maintenance, grease your own machine, like shut down 10 minutes early and do your preventative maintenance routine Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so again, we try to give the employees their own levers that come direct from the system and not handed down from a PM, so that they can tie this 10 minutes of preventative maintenance directly to their bonus rather than just being something that somebody has given them. So we're all able to talk about cash openly because we're all care about the same number, right?
No, I mean, let me give you, everybody's listening, give me tangible kind of thing in my business, all right? What I don't want is a callback to fix something that my install team already did. It screws up so many things because my install guys are my most expensive guys, right? So we enacted something where the CSR, the dispatcher, calls the next day to make sure that everything's all right, because a lot of times these customers won't say anything for weeks later. Then it turns into a bad review. Then it's jammed back, weeks. That one little thing, just to check on that, I'd rather pay the CSR what I pay them than pay my team that's my most expensive team. But more importantly, if they got to go back, then it jams back our schedule back weeks or two. It's these, man, I'm telling you, man, the callbacks and these and teaching the team, like we put in cash flow bonus programs between every aspect of the business, and the guys go, well, yeah, but why are we not getting our bonuses? We're falling in the margins. I said, yeah, but you're not taking the pictures. You're not. How hard is it to take the damn pictures so they could be in Service Titan? You're not doing that. You don't get your bonus. I don't know what to tell you. And so they go police themselves instead of us having to be the bad guys all the time because they want their bonuses.
Yeah. And just hark back to part one, what you just talked about was it's micro, but it's cadence. It's the whole point of cadence is to unearth problems as quickly as possible and solve them and be aware of them before they become major problems. And a daily check on jobs does that. So you unearth those problems, and then you tie those problems solutions to the cash flow bonus. And you've got what I call strategic axis line, right? You got a line going from your vision down through your strategy, down through profitability, right through daily action. Like, that's just awesome.
I love it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed part 2, and we'll see you next time. Guys, let me take a minute to tell you about my buddies over at Lead Hub, Ben and Aaron, the best humans I know. Not only are they amazing at marketing for trade companies, but Ben started his HVAC company in his garage, sold it for multi-million dollars. So when this guy talks, I listen. When we took over Dietz Mechanical, we had 22 reviews in 22 years. In 7 short months, we went from 22 reviews to 107. We went from a 4.2 to a 4.7. We tripled our Facebook presence, and we tripled our calls. If you're an HVAC, plumbing, electric, landscaping company, and you're looking for a no BS approach to marketing, you're looking for people who have done it before, you got to go to leadhub.net